There's a new king in the league. Applause, he declared. It's my era now. MJ, you had your time. Larry Bird, you had your moment. But now it's my league, and everyone else just follows. What started as a casual joke from LeBron James and Kevin Durant on a podcast, lighthearted comments about Michael Jordan, unexpectedly set the internet ablaze. When Magic Johnson caught wind of their remarks, he wasn't about to sit back. He jumped in, ready to defend Jordan's legacy on the court. "You've got to step up, get on that block, and show respect," he said. Johnson threw the ball, made the play, and as the back and forth continued, the game and the banter intensified. Today, we're breaking down that iconic moment when an NBA legend took action to uphold Jordan's legacy, showing that in basketball, respect isn't just given, it's earned. Sometimes the most explosive moments in sports don't happen under the bright lights of a packed arena or during a buzzer beater. They happen in quiet, unguarded spaces, like a podcast studio, where even the greatest can speak freely and the truth slips out. That was exactly the case on July 9th, 2025. What seemed like an ordinary recording session turned into a generational clash that rippled across the basketball world. Kevin Durant, LeBron James, and Steve Nash were sitting down for an episode of Mind the Game, LeBron's podcast where elite players and minds break down the grind of reaching and staying at the pinnacle of basketball. The conversation started casually, flowing like the easy camaraderie of veterans who've spent decades chasing greatness. But as they delved into the rare, brutally honest reflections every seasoned athlete faces, moments of recommitment, self-questioning, and legacy, the tone shifted. Durant, reflecting on his career, touched on the tension between personal ambition and the relentless pursuit of championships. "You think about it after 10, 12 years, MVPs, rings," he said, his words cutting through the casual banter. "Do I still want to do this? Some people want to break, some want to push straight through. But I had to speak up that day." Then came the line that ignited the internet, a challenge, a prediction, and a nod to the game's greatest. Durant looked ahead and said, "Michael, if you don't turn into Air Jordan, we're going to blow y'all out." A seemingly simple remark, but it carried decades of rivalry, respect, and unspoken tension, the kind that fuels debates about the greatest of all time and reignites conversations that have divided fans for more than 20 years. The room felt the tension immediately. Durant's words landed like a spark in a powder keg, subtle on the surface, but loaded with history for anyone who knew the game. "Some people say, I want to go play baseball," he tossed out casually, but it hit hard. Only one NBA superstar ever actually did it, traded the hardwood for a bat, left the league behind, and chased a dream in the minor leagues. That man, of course, was Michael Jeffrey Jordan. LeBron's reaction was instant. A laugh, sharp and knowing, the kind you'd hear from Dave Chappelle telling a story that only insiders fully appreciate. It wasn't just a chuckle, it was recognition, a nod to the clever jab woven into Durant's line. In that moment, two of basketball's modern icons shared a private joke, a wink at a legacy they've spent years chasing. But beneath the surface, the comment carried weight Jordan didn't need reminding of. This wasn't just a playful dig at his detour into baseball. It touched a chapter of his life marked by profound loss. Behind the sneakers, the rings, and the glory, Jordan's world had been shaken to its core. On July 23, 1993, mere weeks after capturing his third straight NBA championship, he suffered the devastating loss of his father, James Jordan, tragically murdered during a carjacking in Lumberton, North Carolina. James Jordan was more than a father. He was a guiding force, a mentor, and the man whose lessons shaped Michael on and off the court. Durant's line, "meant or not," rekindled memories of that painful chapter, reminding the basketball world that behind the legend lies a human story of triumph, tragedy, and resilience. James Jordan wasn't just Michael's father. He was his anchor, his unwavering voice of reason, the man who believed in him from day one. Losing him left a wound no championship, no highlight reel, could ever heal. The heartbreak cut deeper than the public could ever see, shaping Michael's decisions both on and off the court. Even in moments of triumph, like that miraculous three-pointer that saved a game. It couldn't replace what was lost. For legends like Kevin Durant and LeBron James, no documentary or highlight package could ever replicate what Michael endured. That single ring, which some try to diminish, came under extraordinary circumstances, yet the broader story of loss and sacrifice often gets overlooked. When Jordan stepped away from basketball on October 6, 1993, citing a loss of competitive drive, those who truly knew him understood the unspoken truth. This was never about quitting the game. It was a son honoring the man who had shaped his entire life. And too often, the nuances of grief and legacy get buried beneath memes, jokes, and viral takes. The tongue wagging, the playful gestures, they're distractions from a story of profound loss and resilience. Behind the flash of 4 straight threes in a pivotal moment was a son carrying forward the dream his father had always held, to see Michael chase greatness on any field he chose, even if it meant baseball. That dream of playing baseball existed long before basketball consumed Michael Jordan's world. When he inked that minor league deal with the Chicago White Sox and suited up for 127 games with the Birmingham Barons, hitting .202, he wasn't fleeing the hardwood. He was chasing a vision his father had always cherished. It was a final tribute to the man who had poured his life into shaping him, a personal mission far removed from championship banners or MVP awards. And that's the context missing from the July 9th podcast. What Durant casually tossed out as a clever quip about switching sports carried an unspoken emotional weight that most viewers, caught in the whirlwind of viral clips, never fully grasped. Meanwhile, highlights of Jordan's play, like that unforgettable coast-to-coast steal and 360-degree finish past David Robinson, remind us of the sheer brilliance and artistry he brought to the game. Every move was precise, almost poetic, a testament to a lifetime of dedication and love for competition. When Kevin Durant said, "Some people say, I want to go play baseball," it wasn't just a casual career jab. Whether intended or not, he touched a sacred part of Jordan's story, one rooted in legacy, family, and passion rather than stats or rings. Within hours, the clip had ignited a frenzy across social media. X, formerly Twitter, became a battlefield. Jordan purists versus LeBron enthusiasts, each side volleying hot takes and old highlights like a Game 7 showdown. Some argued Durant was simply joking, highlighting LeBron's incredible longevity while playfully nodding to alternative paths in sports. But for those who truly understand the layers of history, the remark landed far deeper, brushing against decades of personal triumph, grief, and ambition that no viral clip could fully convey. "I never wanted to play with anyone but my guys," Durant reflected. "I was fine on my own, and wherever I landed, that's where I rolled." But his words didn't land lightly. For many, the line was perceived as a subtle swipe at Jordan's legacy, a way to elevate LeBron while diminishing one of basketball's greatest icons. Then one viral reaction crystallized the tension. "Some people's fathers get murdered and they go play baseball." The comment landed like a punch, a blunt reminder that the conversation wasn't just about rings or stats. It was about respect, empathy, and context. Jordan's baseball detour wasn't a whim. It was a deeply personal tribute to his father, a decision rooted in love and loss. Skip Bayless, never one to stay silent, fired back with characteristic intensity. He called Durant's remark pathetic, framing it as a display of ignorance and insecurity. LeBron's accompanying laughter didn't escape critique either, with critics labeling it tone-deaf in the moment. While such reactions might have seemed exaggerated under normal circumstances, the outrage felt justified. What was overlooked wasn't just sensitivity to Jordan's personal tragedy, it was an appreciation of the magnitude of his career. Yes, Michael retired 3 times. Yes, he stepped away to pursue baseball. But he also returned to dominate, leading the Bulls to an unparalleled 72-win season in 1995-96 and capturing 3 more championships along the way. He amassed 3 additional Finals MVPs, ending 6-0 in Finals appearances, never faltering when the stakes were highest. Jordan's brilliance wasn't measured in consecutive seasons. It was measured in moments where the spotlight burned brightest, when victories weren't just earned, they were seized. Yet, Durant's offhand remark reignited a polarizing debate, framing Jordan's career as somehow less committed than LeBron's Iron Man streak of 22 consecutive seasons. It ignored the fundamental truth. Jordan's legacy is defined not by longevity, but by dominance, by his refusal to lose when everything was on the line. As the clip continued to ripple across social media and think pieces multiplied, Durant felt compelled to clarify. Taking to X, the Phoenix Suns star attempted to explain the intent behind his words, acknowledging the emotional weight that the basketball world had attached to a seemingly casual comment. Michael Jordan retired 3 times and still claimed his spot as the GOAT. Fans and analysts applauded that, just as they celebrated the endurance of someone who dominated the league for 22 years at an elite level. Durant acknowledged it, even noting that he was a huge MJ fan himself. $1 million worth of Jordan sneakers to back up the claim. But for many, that clarification came too late. Once a moment is captured, once millions have seen it and heard it, there's no undoing it. You can't take back a laugh, and you can't erase how the world interprets it. What made this particular incident so explosive was the players involved. This wasn't some casual podcaster throwing out hot takes for clicks. This was LeBron James, whose career has constantly been measured against Jordan's legacy. And this was Kevin Durant, whose reputation has been shadowed by whispers of ring chasing and super team moves. 2 of the most accomplished players of their generation, yet there they were, seemingly minimizing the greatest of all time for a clever line and a laugh. The tension wasn't entirely new. Jordan had thrown sarcastic comments their way before, laying the groundwork for a combustible situation. And now, the stage was set. Take a swing at the king, and you better hit, or face the consequences. The basketball world soon witnessed what happens when legends rise to defend their era, their values, and their history with a man who literally changed the game forever. Magic Johnson emerged as the enforcer of respect, reminding everyone why certain names carry weight the instant they are spoken. What erupted after Durant's comment wasn't merely backlash. It became a generational war. The long-standing Jordan versus LeBron debate erupted like a powder keg. Former players, usually measured and diplomatic, suddenly felt compelled to speak out, and when they did, they didn't hold back. Take Kwame Brown, the former top draft pick who faced relentless criticism during his own career. In a YouTube video that quickly racked up over 500,000 views, Brown unleashed a raw, emotional response. Directly addressing Durant, he didn't mince words. This statement was ignorant. Jordan had won 3 straight championships while grappling with the tragic loss of his father. That summer, MJ's world had been turned upside down. When he retired in October, it wasn't a career choice. It was a tribute, a fulfillment of a dream his father had long held for him, to play baseball. Brown's words cut through the chatter, a sobering reminder that history, context, and respect matter in ways that viral clips and clever lines often overlook. Brown didn't hold back. He tore into what he saw as Durant and LeBron's double standards, calling out the irony of them criticizing Jordan's career choices, while their own paths featured exactly the kind of moves old-school purists despise. He labeled them roadrunners, accusing them of dodging adversity rather than confronting it head-on, building super teams instead of challenging the competition. It was a scathing critique, hitting not just their words but the very blueprint of how they approached the game. Then Gilbert Arenas, known as much for his quick release as his sharp tongue, weighed in with a historical lens. He reminded fans that Jordan didn't merely walk away from basketball on a whim. Arenas argued that the league's shadow, rumors and investigations surrounding gambling, compounded by the heartbreak of his father's death, played a massive role. Jordan's baseball interlude wasn't some trivial career detour. It was a coping mechanism in a world of relentless scrutiny, grief, and pressure that today's polished stars, with their PR teams and social media shields, rarely encounter. He didn't step away because of fatigue. He stepped away because the world around him had become almost unbearable. Then Charles Barkley, MJ's Olympic teammate and the league's unapologetically candid voice, weighed in with his characteristic mix of humor and hard truth. Barkley didn't mince words about the rise of super teams, directly targeting LeBron and Durant. "I don't like any guys who join super teams," he said bluntly. Michael didn't join anyone. He kept getting his ass kicked, learned from it, and got stronger. The response was immediate and electric. Clips of Magic's remarks on the Earn Your Leisure podcast spread across YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and beyond, racking up millions of views. Outlets like Lakers Nation and Bleacher Report highlighted the significance. Magic wasn't just any ex-player. He had competed directly against Jordan and later shaped LeBron's early Lakers years as an executive. That dual credibility amplified his voice in a way few others could match. But the resonance went beyond the GOAT debate. Magic's defense became a lesson in basketball values, a statement on how the game should be played, honored, and respected. When he reflected on not forming super teams, choosing instead to face the best head-on, he wasn't indulging in nostalgia. He was drawing a line between eras, contrasting his generation's ethos with the modern NBA's super team culture. His message was clear. The fire, grit, and integrity his generation brought to the court mattered, and the game loses something when that competitive spirit is replaced by strategic alliances. The relentless drive to push through adversity, the mindset that forged Michael Jordan into a legend, was more than a personal trait. It was a blueprint for greatness earned the hard way. By stepping up to defend Jordan against what he perceived as disrespect from Durant and LeBron, Magic Johnson wasn't just defending a player. He was defending an entire philosophy of competition, a standard for how champions are built. As the controversy simmered over the weeks, it became unmistakably clear. This wasn't about a single offhand remark or a laugh on a podcast. It was about reverence, about recognizing the architects of the game and the monumental legacies they leave behind. Magic's voice carried weight because he had faced Jordan at his peak and understood the full magnitude of his greatness. When he spoke, he reminded the world why Jordan's impact resonates more than 2 decades after his final championship. The GOAT debate will never die. That's part of its allure. But when someone like Magic, who earned every scar on the court while battling Jordan, says, "Nobody will ever replicate what MJ brought to the game," it lands differently. It's not rhetoric. It's testimony from someone who saw brilliance up close and had no choice but to honor it. LeBron James and Kevin Durant are all-time greats. Their accolades are undeniable. But the next time anyone jokes about Michael Jordan's baseball detour, they might pause to consider who's listening. The legends who went head-to-head with him aren't just spectators anymore. They're guardians of a story, and they won't let anyone rewrite the history of the game.